I thought burying my father was the hardest moment of my life. I was wrong. The real pain came when I saw his most precious possession sitting in a pawn shop window, like some forgotten trinket. My name is Sophia Reynolds. At 32, I work as a grief counselor at a community center in Southeast Seattle, helping people find words for their loss when their voices fail them. It's ironic, really, because it took me years to find my own voice after Dad died. 5 years ago, pancreatic cancer took him after a vicious 18-month battle. Dad was a Vietnam veteran who had stared down horrors in the jungle but came home with his gentle heart intact. He taught me to value family above everything, to protect memories, and never let anyone make me feel small. On his final day in hospice, he pressed his father's World War II Omega watch into my palm. The gold case gleamed under the hospital lights. "This got Grandpa through Normandy," Dad whispered, his voice thin as paper. "It survived hell. Now it survives through you. Soft. Wear it when you need strength." That watch wasn't just metal and gears. It carried 3 generations of Mitchell men, my grandfather Thomas, my father James, and now me. I wore it every day for the first year after his funeral, feeling Dad's steady pulse in every tick. Then Mom met Victor Hale. Victor appeared 18 months after the funeral, like a polished storm rolling in off Puget Sound. 53. Silver-haired, with the practiced charm of someone who closed deals over martinis at the Columbia Tower Club. He called himself a financial strategist, though his stories about overseas ventures always stayed vague. Mom, still raw from widowhood, was swept away by flowers, waterfront dinners, and promises of a fresh start. They married after only 5 months. Victor moved into our family home in Leschi, the craftsman bungalow where Dad built my childhood swing set and planted the rose garden. Mom glowed again, and for her sake, I tried to welcome him. But something in Victor set off every instinct Dad had drilled into me. The way his eyes cataloged our furniture, the casual way he boxed up Dad's old uniforms for donation without asking, the suggestion that Mom replace her original wedding band. "Sophia doesn't warm up easily," he'd say to Mom with a hurt smile whenever I pushed back. I moved out 3 months after the wedding into a small apartment near my counseling center. I couldn't watch him erase Dad's presence piece by piece. Still, I returned for Sunday dinners to support Mom. I held my tongue when Victor took Dad's seat at the head of the table. I stayed silent when he called himself the man of the house. The watch, though, I kept it safe. After moving, I placed it in Mom's bedroom safe, the one Dad installed behind a hidden panel. Only we knew the code. It felt like the last piece of Dad protected in the home he loved. That changed 2 weeks ago. Victor had been talking at dinner about liquidating underperforming assets and maximizing family holdings. Mom nodded along. I saw his gaze linger on her jewelry, the antique grandfather clock Dad inherited, the artwork on the walls. "Sentiment is nice," Victor said, slicing his steak precisely. "But sometimes things need to work for us instead of gathering dust." "Some things aren't for sale," I said quietly. Victor looked at me then, really looked, and for a split second his charming mask cracked. What I glimpsed was cold calculation, almost amusement. "Everything has a price, Sophia. Even memories." That Saturday in Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood, I was wandering before meeting Mom for coffee. The pawn shop nestled between a coffee roaster and a vinyl record store, its sign flickering in the drizzle. Something gold glinted in the window among guitars and electronics. My legs froze. Dad's watch. The octagonal face. Roman numerals. The strap I'd replaced last year. The tag read $7,200, vintage Omega. Excellent condition. I pushed inside. The shop smelled of oil and regret. The young clerk with tattoos looked up. "Help you?" That omega in the window, I said, voice steadier than I felt. Where did it come from? Can't discuss Consignor's privacy. It was stolen from me. Family heirloom for 70 years. Inscription on the back. To Tommy. Forever. Eleanor. My grandparents. He hesitated. Checked the back. Shoulders tensing. He pulled a ledger. October 15th entry. Omega watch. $3,800 cash paid to Victor Hale. Our home address listed. My world tilted. Victor had pawned Dad's watch for quick cash while claiming financial expertise. I photographed everything, the ledger. Watch. Tuck. The clerk advised filing a police report but warned it could turn civil if Victor claimed permission. I canceled lunch with Mom, claiming a headache, then drove home and researched Victor. His LinkedIn was full of buzzwords, but short on verifiable deals. Something felt deeply wrong. That evening, I called my old college roommate, Emma Brooks, now a family law attorney in Bellevue. Emma, it's Sophia. I think Mom's in serious trouble with Victor. The kitchen still smelled of Mom's rosemary roast when I arrived for the next Sunday dinner. But hunger had vanished. Mom hummed at the sink, unaware her world was fracturing. Sophia, honey, you sounded off yesterday. Headache better. Better? I lied. Kissing her cheek. Victor's jacket draped over Dad's chair. Where's Victor? In his office. On a big call about a venture. We needed to talk. I showed her the pawn shop photos. Color drained from her face. There must be a mistake. The safe combination. Before she could finish, Victor's footsteps approached. Ladies, you look serious. Everything okay? I found Dad's watch. Victor. His confusion act was smooth at first. Then I showed the ledger photo with his signature. The mask shattered. Surprise. Then cold fury. You followed me, he said quietly. I walked past the pawn shop. The watch was displayed. It was gathering dust in a safe while this family faces expenses. What expenses? Mom's voice cracked. We've reviewed accounts together. Your accounts, Victor snarled. Your house. Your decisions. My ventures need capital. You stole from us. I stepped between them. Borrowed against an asset. I'd replace it after my deal. What deal? Mom demanded. 2 years of talk. No contracts. Victor slammed the counter. You cling to this museum of the dead while opportunities pass. Get out, Mom said. Victor laughed. My name is on the deed now. Caroline, refinance papers you signed. Mom paled. You said it was just lowering the rate. I said many things. He gripped my wrist hard. You push this. Go to police. I'll ruin your mother's reputation. Invented stories stick. You'll both lose everything. I yanked free. You're pathetic. He whispered only for me. You'll both be homeless unless you stay silent. After he left for a call, Mom sobbed in my arms. How did I miss it? It's not your fault. Men like him specialize in this. We called the refinance papers into question and contacted Emma immediately. The next morning at Emma's office in a converted warehouse overlooking Lake Union, documents spread across the table. This refinance pulled $180,000 equity into an account in Victor's name only, Emma said. The cash out was disguised as rate reduction. Mom's hand shook. $180,000? Worse followed. Emma's investigator uncovered 6 credit cards opened in Mom's name without consent. $75,000 plus in debt. Mostly cash advances to Lucky Phoenix Gaming, an illegal high-stakes operation in Seattle's International District. Photographs showed Victor at poker tables. Desperate expression clear. He owed at least $110,000. Emma found prior marriages, 2 ex-wives drained and abandoned. Pattern identical, charm. Mary. Steele. Vanish. He's a professional predator, Emma said. We freeze accounts today. File protective orders. Divorce on fraud grounds. Oregon, no. Washington law protects spouses from gambling debts. I offered to fund the private investigator. We installed hidden cameras. I moved back home that evening. Victor's BMW sat in the driveway. He paced inside, shouting into his phone. The cards were already declined. He stormed out. You did this. No, I said calmly. Mom recording beside me. You did. Tension thickened. 5 days later, Mom hosted a family dinner to draw him out, inviting Dad's sister Rachel, a retired Seattle PD detective, and her husband Mark, a forensic accountant. Victor arrived suited, smiling until he saw them. Over roast. Victor tried charm, but wine loosened him. Just a misunderstanding about the watch. Misunderstanding, Mark pressed. Stealing an heirloom? I was protecting our future with investments. Which investments? Rachel asked sharply. Victor snapped, hurling his wine glass against the wall, sweeping china to the floor. I'm drowning in debts. Those people don't negotiate. He lunged toward Mom. I blocked. His open hand slapped my face hard. The crack echoed. Rachel called police immediately. For witnesses. Recording. Damaged property overwhelming. As officers led him away, Victor hissed. You'll regret this when my creditors come. The Multnomah County Courthouse felt colder than Seattle fog that morning. Emma walked beside us. Portfolios ready. Victor posted bail, but looked haggard in his suit. His attorney, a slick defender named Marcus Reed, argued marital misunderstandings. Emma dismantled it methodically. Pawn records, fraudulent credit apps, dinner recording where Victor admitted the theft and debts, witness accounts of the assault. My testimony detailed the confrontation. Wrist grab. Threats. Cross-examination backfired, letting me describe his pattern. Additional evidence from Mark showed theft from prior wives. Judge Elena Chin found probable cause on all charges: first-degree theft, identity theft, fraud, fourth-degree assault. Bail revoked for flight risk and danger. Victor was remanded. Outside, an FBI agent waited, Special Agent Ryan Kim. Lucky Phoenix was under investigation for gambling and laundering. Victor's cooperation could help. In exchange, protection from creditors. We cooperated. Media broke the story soon after. The Seattle Times ran local consultant arrested for fraud and assault, quickly expanding to prior victims coming forward. Charity skimming. Fake credentials. Victor's networking circles collapsed. Club memberships revoked. Charity board ousted him. Clients demanded refunds. Social media amplified stories of drained accounts and ghosted relationships. Mom handled scrutiny with quiet dignity. When the Garden Society, long exclusive, offered membership, she accepted gracefully, noting ironically how Victor's fall opened doors his schemes never did. The plea deal came 2 days before trial. Full confession. Restitution of $180,000 refinance, $75,000 credit debt, forfeiture of claims, plus federal charges for veterans' charity embezzlement he'd skimmed from. Total sentence, 5 to 7 years. At sentencing, Victor stood defeated in orange jumpsuit. I was building something, he muttered. Judge Chin replied icily. You destroyed lives for addiction and ego. 7 years, prison. 3 probation. $450,000 plus restitution. Lifetime ban from fiduciary roles. Reporters swarmed outside. Mom spoke. My late husband taught that integrity is how you rise after falling. Victor underestimated family strength and truth. 6 months later, life steadied. Mom sold Victor's possessions, donating proceeds to the Veterans Charity. She thrived coordinating Garden Society events, cautiously dating a kind professor. I wore Dad's restored watch again. Tick steady. Reminder of resilience. One porch evening. Mom fastened it on my wrist. You fought for it. For us. We toasted with Dad's saved champagne. Best revenge is living well, Mom said. Eyes bright. A year later, news showed Victor transferred to Texas facility after inmate conflicts. Thieves of veterans' funds aren't popular even in prison. His forgiveness letter I burned unread. To anyone facing their own Victor, document everything. Trust instincts. Seek help. Never shame in being deceived by experts. We didn't just survive. We reclaimed our legacy. The watch ticks onward, marking time free of fear and deception. Justice isn't always swift, but standing together makes it inevitable.